Hey YouTube, welcome back to Tinker with Tools. Today we are talking about the best tools that I've reviewed and acquired in 2024. So let's go ahead and get right into that on Tinker with Tools. Now this video is one that I look forward to making each and every year, and with making roughly 50 full-length videos over the course of the year, there's a pretty big list of tools to choose from. Not every single one of the tools is going to be new for the calendar year, but they're all new to my collection and my channel this year, and so that's kind of what the pool is that we're picking from. For the most part, each and every one of these tools has been featured in a video on the channel, and I love this chance to be able to go back and review each and every one and decide which ones are going to be the most impactful on me this year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right to the selections. Throughout the year, this is the one lone exception to being featured in a video on the channel this year, and this is going to be a pair of ratcheting screwdrivers. First, from PB Swiss, we have their stubby ratcheting screwdriver, and unlike the larger ratcheting screwdriver that I featured in my video earlier this year, this one does have a slide-out bit compartment in the tail, making it, in my opinion, a better option than that larger version. Being able to have even just 6 bits on there, and they are some nice bits, does make this a really nice, versatile, small, compact screwdriver, and PB Swiss makes, in my opinion, the most robust, stout-feeling ratcheting mechanism on the market. It's not super fine, it's not super low back drag, but it definitely is nice to use. And even though it's a premium option in terms of price, it definitely has the feel of quality behind it. And I think it's just a really nice premium option if you're in the market for one. Now, on the more budget-friendly side, this is going to be the Klein Connect 7-in-1 impact-ready stubby ratcheting screwdriver. This is part of their Connect system. If you haven't seen a video on that, I need to make one soon with all the different pieces that fit into that collection, because it's really impressive. But in this tiny little screwdriver, you do get 4 different bits, 2 Phillips and 2 slotted. You also then do get 3 different size nut drivers. And overall, this is one of the smoothest and lowest backdraft ratcheting screwdrivers that I've ever experienced. Additionally, they've moved the ratcheting ring down a little further, and so you do have a nice option to be able to rotate this with your thumb, making it a really nice screwdriver to use. And being impact ready means I can just go ahead and take out these bits and use them in my impact driver if I need. This is really one of the nicer tools that I picked up this year, and so for that reason, I wanted to include both of these as the first tool that we're talking about. Now, before we get too far into the video, I do want to take an opportunity to talk about something that I've recently added here to my studio space. See, in my last shop, everything I did was in one space. In this new shop, though, I actually have most of my shop up in my garage, and then I do have a small area in my basement that I'm going to be converting into my studio. And because my main workbench is going to be staying in the shop, I needed something new for this space, and that's where today's sponsor, FlexiSpot, really came in clutch by offering me their E7pro standing desk, an absolute game changer for this. While my old workbench served me faithfully for a number of years, it certainly had its limitations. On the other hand, the E7pro is well known for its versatility. Whether I need to be sitting down at a comfortable height, and even just doing some general tinkering around the shop in this new space, it has been incredibly nice just to be able to, at the touch of a button, change the height of the workbench. Not only that, because I've got 4 different presets, I'm actually able to set the heights to the exact level that I want. While some other desk manufacturers have chosen to go with aluminum for their frames, FlexiSpot has actually chosen automotive grade steel and even thickened up the legs to provide a really robust and rigid build quality. Whether I have it down at a comfortable sitting height or I pushed it up towards the top of its range, I know that it's going to be nice and stable. Additionally, while other competitors tout 300 pounds of weight capacity, this one is going to have a total weight capacity of 440 pounds. And on top of all that, it comes reasonably priced, especially for the quality and features that you're getting with it. FlexiSpot also stands behind it with a 15-year warranty, giving you a reliable sit-stand desk that is going to cover all of your needs. So whether you're looking to upgrade an old space, or you simply need to outfit a new one like what I did here in my studio space, the FlexiSpot E7pro is definitely worth checking out. And if you head over to FlexiSpot.com, you'll see that they have a wide variety of desks to choose from. They also offer a variety of ergonomic chairs. I'll leave a link in the video description so you can learn more. And if you use the code on the screen or in the description down below, you can even save $50 off the purchase of a new E7pro standing desk. Thank you, FlexiSpot, for helping outfit my new space. Now let's get back to the tools. All right, next on the tools is the DeWalt gyroscopic screwdriver. I absolutely love this tool. It has quickly becomes a favorite of mine because it is just so natural and easy to use. When you want to tighten something, you turn to the right. When you want to loosen, turn to the left. and how much you turn is going to adjust the speed on that. This is definitely a pricey electric screwdriver, and there are certainly more budget-friendly options that I think we need to check out in a future comparison video. But for me, this is definitely one of the top tools that I have added in 2024, and one that I would recommend people try out if they've got some spare budget for it. So with the next spot on here, I just have, in general, the new Milwaukee circular saws that have come out this year. Now, this is the brand new 6.5-inch model. It is blade left, and that is a personal preference of mine. I actually own the older blade left saw, and while it was a decent and serviceable saw, the new one just got a lot more compact, a lot lighter. Everything about this saw was a vast improvement, and definitely one that's worth picking up in my opinion. But Milwaukee didn't stop there. They also refreshed their M12 circular saw. This is the little baby 5 3/8. Now, I also own the previous model of the M12 fuel circular saw in that, and honestly, that one is a little bit underwhelming and really just made for lighter duty tasks. The new saw, especially when paired with a 5 amp hour high output battery, really gives a lot more confidence and is certainly something that I think can actually do a lot more work than we give it credit for. But last but not least, Milwaukee also refreshed their 7.25-inch model. Now, this is the one that made big waves at their pipeline event because this is actually packing their new motor technology that allowed them to significantly reduce the size of this tool while simultaneously really increasing its output. Previously, hands down, the most powerful circular saw that I had ever tested was the DeWalt 60-volt rear handle saw, and that is a powerful saw and still is a powerful saw today. This one just feels ever so slightly ahead of it. How much smaller and lighter this saw got, while really just pushing the limits of what you envision 18-volt tools being able to do. This is a truly impressive tool. It makes me really excited for when we can get our hands on the new rear handle model that should be coming out early next year. Now, a tool that was new to me in 2024, even though it was not a new tool in 2024, was the 1/2-inch Metabo HPT router. Now, I have long loved cordless trim routers because removing the cord on a router just makes it so much more usable and accessible in my opinion. But whenever I needed to do a more intensive task, I still turned to my corded DeWalt router to do that. Now, I'd been watching this router for more than a year and almost have pulled the trigger a couple of times when it was down to $149. But there was one day when I got on Amazon and noticed that not only was it $149, but there was an additional coupon off that actually took it down to $111 after tax. And so at that price, I absolutely had to go for it, and I couldn't be more happy with the purchase. Having the two-handed design here on the sides and being able to lock the router into the on position and just really have a stable hold on the router when you're doing some of those more demanding cuts. And then you combine it with the fact that it's got an integrated plunge base. Everything about this is just a screaming deal. Now, obviously, it's not that cheap all the time, and I do intend to eventually pick up both the DeWalt and the Milwaukee 1/2-inch routers and give those a try. But if you check the price on the Milwaukee one anytime soon, it just is always at a sky-high price. So while I do think that these are definitely worth something worth checking out in the near future, and we'll see on the channel, for now, this is the lone one I have, but I'm glad that I bought it, and it is easily one of the more impressive tools that I've picked up in 2024. In my opinion, no top tools of 2024 would be complete without mentioning the DeWalt DCD 1007. DeWalt's drills, in my opinion, up to this point, especially their top drills, lacked a little bit of the modern creature comforts that have begun to be commonplace even in lower tier tools, like advanced safety protections and different things like that. When I go to something like the DCD 999 or the 998, they were powerful, sure, but they were also really big tools, and they certainly just felt like they were maybe something from an older time. Well, DeWalt came out with this new top-tier hammer drill, and I have to say I was blown away. It did things that just other tools simply could not do and have never done on my channel and my testing, and it really is a truly impressive tool. We've learned from some of the foreign marketing that this thing actually has roughly 1,500 inch-pounds of torque, which puts it well above everything else in the marketplace, in my opinion. And they finally gave us the advanced safety protections that I personally had been asking for in their Perform and Protect option on here. Yes, it is still a big tool. This is not something that I advise someone to carry around for lighter duty tasks necessarily, but if you need a truly heavy duty hammer drill, this is definitely going to be one of the top options in my opinion, and certainly was a great improvement to DeWalt's drill lineup, and one that I'm still loving even to this day. All right, and then another one that only made its way into a short. This is the new Milwaukee Task Light. This is just a very simple rechargeable light that is more of a flood pattern, if you can kind of see that. But overall, it's pretty compact and fits nicely into some of the tool bags I've been using. But then when you actually need to use it, it can stand up on its own. You can clip it to something with this clip, and it even has magnets in this metal hoop so that you can go ahead and stick it to something metal, and just has a lot of versatility. It's an incredibly bright light when you need it, and it definitely has been nice for working in different spaces where I just need a little bit of light and need a hands-free option on that, not having to hold something like a flashlight. The price is not super cheap at $65, but so far I haven't had many issues with the runtime, and it definitely has lived up to being a very nice light and one that I'm glad that I picked up. All right, and then one of the last tools we're going to be talking about, I couldn't pick just one, but it is the brand new DeWalt impact drivers that we got. First, we got the new DeWalt high torque impact driver. That's right, they've dubbed it the high torque impact driver. And while I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is the best impact driver on the market or the strongest and fastest and most powerful, all I'm going to commit to you is that in my testing, it has been easily one of the top 3 most powerful and fastest driving impact drivers out there, and it definitely felt like it completed and made the whole impact driver lineup at DeWalt make more sense. This is truly the range-topping impact driver that I've been wanting for several years now, and it definitely is a solid impact driver. But not to be outdone, DeWalt also gave us the first brand new hydraulic impact driver on the market in I believe almost 8 years, and that is the new Quiet Hydraulic DCF 870. This one came out closer to the end of the year, but I have had it for a few months now, and I absolutely love the thing. It is almost as small as the really tiny DCF 850, the atomic impact driver here in the States. It is not quite as short, but it is pretty close. But it offers just a much more refined feel than any impact driver that DeWalt has out currently, and is just really nice to use. Hydraulic impact driver's main selling point is going to be the reduced noise, and this delivers on that, cutting about 10 decibels off of what you're getting from a standard impact driver in the same task. So for DeWalt to give us 2 incredible impact drivers in 1 year, I think we should consider ourselves lucky, and I truly do love each one of these impact drivers. All right, now the last item I'm going to be talking about today is more going to be representative of a whole product category and not necessarily the 3 that I've got out here today, but we are talking about tabless cell batteries. Now, I personally have tried them from 4 different brands. I've got the 8 amp hour power pack battery here, which is their new tabless cell battery option. I've got the Red Lithium Forge HD 12.0, and then most recent one I picked up is the Ryobi Edge battery, which is their 4 amp hour tabless cell battery. Now, I do also own the Rigid. I apologize for not being able to find it, but I do have a full video on that Rigid battery and how it compares to some of their more premium batteries. What I love about these batteries is just what they're allowing us to do with these tools and where they're pushing the bounds of what's possible on existing platforms that we already have. Each one of these is going to be offered and make your tools feel peppier and just feel like they've got more power, even on existing tools. But then they also have tools that are being developed for this kind of power output, like the new Milwaukee saw that I talked about earlier. And that's where you really start to see the potential of the technology and just how much it can push it. And while I've shown you a couple here tonight that I think are really neat, there's also an option for Makita with their 4 amp hour F variant battery on the XGT platform that is going to be a tabless cell. Bosch has tabless cells in Europe, though I haven't seen them come to the US yet. And so I think we're starting to see more and more companies go to this. And I love that we're getting them on existing platforms that allows us to get more out of our tools. All right, so there you have it. There's my list of the top tools of 2024. If you purchased new tools in this year, go ahead and let me know what was the top for you. Leave them in the comments down below. I love to hear what your opinions are on this. If you like this sort of video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Make sure to turn on notifications so you get notified when I put out new content. And at this time of year, I just want to wish everyone a happy and safe New Year's, and we'll talk to you next year here on Tinker with Tools.